Hi everyone, you're watching this because you've clicked on the nighttime driving video, and quite clearly it's daytime. It's the day after. So yesterday I was editing that video and I noticed that I'd made quite a lot of mistakes in my commentary and in my narration. And first of all, I just wanted to point out that I've put some subtitles at the bottom of the screen for when I do make a mistake. But the interesting thing is how many mistakes I made. It just goes to show that driving at night is a lot more difficult. It requires a lot more focus on the road, and I'd actually got less focus on what was inside my head, what I was trying to say, and that comes out quite clearly. Okay, so enjoy the video. Apologies for the mistakes, but I think I've explained why. Okay, here comes the video. Looking to move off. Headlights behind us are a good distance. There are people around, so I will signal. Now you'll notice as it's dusk, it's still kind of daylight, but we are after sunset. So we are in what's called lighting up time, which means that we must use dipped headlights. Technically the law says we should use side lights, but to be quite honest, side lights is a very obsolete term for modern cars. All cars since about 2010, something like that date, have to be fitted with daytime running lights, which are those lights at the front of the car that you can't turn off. They're on during the daytime, and they've kind of replaced side lights. So that law about having side lights on at night is a bit old-fashioned, I have to say. We've got a car with hazard warning lights on, parked some way away from the curb, on the zigzags on a roundabout, which I'm hoping he's broken down and not just taken a phone call or something. Now at night, obviously, visibility is poor. So that may mean that we go a little slower than we may do in the daytime. Have a look at what road features there are, such as signs, cat's eyes, that sort of thing, that are designed to reflect our own headlights. So we can see road signs are reflective. There's a white trim around the traffic lights, which is reflective. The yellow bollards in the middle of the road, they're reflective. We've got a lorry parked up ahead of us, and if I put my headlights onto full beam, you'll be able to see that his reflectors are also shining back at us. And as other traffic's about to move, I'll just take my high beam off. High beam and dipped beam is something that we'll talk about later on as we get onto some unlit roads and when it gets substantially darker. It's important to keep your headlights and windows clean. Obviously, if you've got dirt over your headlights, then not as much light is going to come out of them, and that means that other people can't see you. Don't forget that headlights do serve two purposes. They let you see where you're going, but more importantly, they let other people see your road position. Excuse me. Any reflective surface that shines directly back at you is called retroreflective, and it's a common feature on cyclists' clothing. Whenever you see the yellow leg bands or maybe silvery white clothing that shines back. That's retroreflective material. Some road signs are illuminated as well. So you may see a giveaway sign that's actually got a light inside it to make sure it's more visible at night. Slowing down a touch because I can't see the pavement behind the bus for the zebra crossing. That looks all clear though, so back on the gas. At the back of every car, the reflectors are red. That's like we saw on the lorry while we were parked up at the traffic lights. By law, the only reflectors allowed at the back of cars are red. So if you've got any stickers that are like novelty stickers with jokes on them or anything like that, that shine a different colour back other than red, that is technically against the construction regulations for vehicles. Something that I still sometimes have difficulty with is red brake lights and red traffic lights. Sometimes you'll see red lights in the distance and you won't quite be sure exactly what they are. Is it a car or is it a traffic light? If there's a car with one of the light bulbs blown at the back and you only see one red light, in the dark it can look like a motorcyclist. So before you make a journey at night, it's your responsibility to check around the car, check that all of your lights are working, check your lights are clean, check your windscreen is clean. Any dirt on your windscreen will make other car headlights glare, and that will be very difficult then for you to see exactly where you're going with any accuracy. Now in this drive tonight, I'm planning to go to Featherstone where there's some country lanes that are unlit. We'll go down some maybe single track roads as well. But we'll also go down New Road, which is a 40-mile-an-hour road, mostly with street lighting for the first part. But we may actually park up at the side of the road and have a chat about what we can see with other headlights coming towards us and how we can use like the angle of those headlights to predict where the road is going, so we can take information from cars coming towards us to work out what path the road takes. Going ahead, third exit. Bit of a puddle on the left. There was nobody on my right, so I was able to just nudge over to the right slightly. Signal to come off, there is a car to see it. Now I am aware that the camera is mounted on the roof and there isn't a windscreen wiper on that camera, so apologies if there is raindrops on the lens. I think it's still preferable to having the car or having the camera inside the car. I'm pretty confident that you'll still get a better view with the camera mounted on the roof, even though it is likely to get a little bit wet. Now ahead we've got an example of a road sign that has got some lighting fixed to it. And the 30-mile-an-hour sign on the right. We've got the triangular warning sign that we can just see the back of that's got a light on it. Speed cameras, of course, they have yellow reflective backs. And we're in a 40-mile-an-hour limit now, so I'm going to increase my speed to 40. No traffic around that's worth speaking of. And a geeky fact, we've got orange traffic lights here. They are called sodium lamps. Now sodium is very difficult to ignite or to get to glow. So the red lampposts that you can see are what's called a strontium starter. So you'll often see those just after sunset. They'll turn red, and then when the lamp has kind of got hot, it will switch over to the sodium, which gives you that yellow glow. They're all being phased out really in favour of LED lighting, which is much lower impact power requirement, so much better for the environment. Roundabout ahead, reduce speed now. We're going ahead, second exit. There's no one behind me, no one to the side of me. I can pretty much ignore the white lines on this roundabout then, and we'll take a nice smooth curve around it. Remember, if you are going to straight line a roundabout, just be extra cautious of what's to the right hand side of you. Maybe even a blind spot check if needed. Another roundabout ahead, I'm checking around now. We're on a 2-lane road, so there's more likely to be somebody at the side of me now. I'm just checking around and there isn't. A little better speed here. No one to signal to, no one to talk to. We're going ahead, second exit at the roundabout, so we're not taking the motorway. The big green sign tells me that we need the right-hand lane. No one to my right, over I go. Was it even worth signalling there to move lanes? Probably not. Can we keep moving at this speed? No one to the right. Nobody on my left either, so I'll now move straight over to the left lane. Consider a signal for coming off. No one to see it, let's not do it. Change of speed limit coming up to 30. I'm resetting my speed limiter to 30 so I can't go over. We're going to go as far as the traffic lights and turn left, and then we'll find somewhere safe to park up on the left, and we'll just have a look at the oncoming traffic. I'll maybe even do something with the second camera that I've got inside the car as well, just to show you something to do with sunglasses at night. Traffic lights have gone red ahead, so I'll come off the gas now. There is no one behind me. I'm not inconveniencing anybody at all. Take second gear now. In hindsight, maybe I slowed down more than I needed to there. Nobody on my left for the left turn. Let's pull up on the left in a safe place. This road is a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit. Let's go past the double yellow lines, pull up on the left. So the highway code says if you park up on a road that is greater than 30 miles an hour, or sometimes in a theory test question, it may say 40 miles an hour and above. So above 30 or 40 and above. It means the same thing, it's just phrased slightly differently. If that is the case, you must leave some form of lighting on. That's unless you are parked off-road or you are parked in a designated parking bay. So I'm just going to take out my grey sunglasses. I'm also going to take out my yellow sunglasses, and my internal camera, I'm just going to pop it up on the dashboard so that we can have a look at the view outside. Here we go. Just getting a little bit tangled up with wires here. Okay, so I'm just going to hold this. I haven't got a tripod with me. In some of the magazines that you get with newspapers, you'll see adverts for nighttime driving glasses. Now, what does the highway code say about wearing sunglasses or shades at night? It says you shouldn't. Okay, I've got here some yellow shades. I'm just going to drop them over the lens of the camera. Okay, it's like being at the opticians, without, with. Honestly, does that make visibility better? Absolutely not. It makes it slightly darker. Not the end of the world, but certainly there's no benefit to wearing yellow sunglasses at night. Let's just take my normal sunglasses as well. These are much darker. You'll get a much more pronounced effect here. So without and with. The difference is quite striking, isn't it? So I hope that is a good demonstration of don't wear sunglasses at night. Okay, not even yellow ones that are allegedly designed for nighttime driving. So let's talk a little bit about how we can predict the shape of the road here. You can see the road is pretty straight. As we see traffic coming towards us, we can actually see what direction that comes from. And if we wait long enough, a car will come towards us and we'll be able to see which direction it's coming from. And would you believe it? Nobody's going. Remember, you could also use the car in front of you going in the same direction as you. You can see where his tail lights go. Here comes a car, so we can see quite clearly that the road bends off to our right. And we'll probably use this road quite a lot tonight. Coming down here now really to show you what it's like at dusk or twilight. We'll come down here again in half an hour to an hour to show you what it's like when it's truly dark. We've got a lot of cloud cover tonight as well, so we probably won't even have any moonlight, which will add to the darkness. It's more difficult to see side roads at night, so make full use of warning signs to tell you where they are. Going downhill, I've got my foot just hovering over the brake in case the car goes over 40. Car's warning me that I am exceeding that speed, so I'm just slowly braking, bringing it back under control. Warning sign for side road on the left. lots of reflective things coming up. So that tells me that there is some kind of hazard ahead. So let's begin slowing down so that we can assess what's going on. Upside down triangle, so that means there's a giveaway line somewhere. Sharp right hand bend sign, black and white arrow, and the giveaway sign that we were expecting. I'm going to turn right here. Still on a 40-mile-an-hour limit. There's no street lighting along here, but you can see in the distance there's a single street light all on its lonesome. That's always a good indication that there is a junction of some sort there. You will most often find that if the turning is on the right, the street light will be on the left. It will be opposite the junction. Obviously you can't have a street light in the middle of the junction, that would obstruct the traffic. I can see another single street light ahead, so that's telling me there is some kind of hazard. Turning left at the traffic lights. So you can see that the amount of street lighting is now increased. Into a 60-mile-an-hour limit. You can use the positions of the street lighting as well to help you judge where the road is travelling. And here the street lighting's been replaced with a more modern LED lighting. There's a car parked up on the left. He looks like he's off the carriageway. Brake lights aren't on, so he's quite secure there. Turning left at the end of this road, we've got more reflective items, looks like traffic cones on this occasion. More difficult to judge the speed of other vehicles at night as well. So just before it goes totally dark, let's just have a look at different lights that we have on the modern car. At the moment, I've got side lights on, which is the same as daytime running lights. I'm now going to turn them up to dipped headlights. As you can see, they are pointing slightly down and slightly to the left, and that is so that they illuminate the curb on your side, but they're also directed away from oncoming cars. So this is dipped headlights, they're dipped down at the road. I'm going to switch to main beam headlights or full beam headlights. The two terms are used interchangeably. And as you can see, they're much brighter and they are designed to point directly ahead. So if there is traffic coming towards you, these full beam headlights will dazzle the oncoming driver. So it's important to dip the headlights before that car actually comes into view. You can always see the headlights of oncoming cars coming before the car actually comes round a corner or over the brow of a hill, so that gives you plenty of time to get your headlights dipped. Let's drive on. Street lights, so I associate that with another hazard. It's starting to get much darker. The light will fade quite quickly now. My car has actually automatically put the high beam headlights on. It should detect when there's a car coming towards us, it'll detect the other traffic lights, but I've always got to be ready to dip the lights myself if the car doesn't do it. On that occasion the headlights didn't dip themselves, possibly because it didn't see headlights coming towards us, it only saw tail lights, so I dipped the headlights myself then. We're turning right at the traffic lights. Going onto a single track unlit road, so there'll be plenty of opportunity to look at high beam or full beam or main beam. Remember, those terms are interchangeable. And we'll be looking out for headlights coming towards us so that we know when to dip our headlights. To the end of this road, let's dip headlights again. While you're on unlit roads such as this, remember you can't rely solely on car headlights as an indication of what's ahead. You've got to be looking out for pedestrians wearing black clothes. You've got to be looking out for cyclists who may not have any lights on. You've got to look out for other vehicles that maybe have forgotten to switch their lights on. During the daytime, as you're going round a blind bend, you may sound your horn so that other vehicles can see you. After 11:30 at night and before 7 in the morning, you're not allowed to use your horn unless it's an emergency. So as an alternative, flashing headlights lets traffic know that we're going through this narrow tunnel. And we'll make use of full beam up here, definite. Single track road.